guys, we got this Buick drug in the shop here. Hasn't ran in at least 30 years. Got it out of a barn, and yeah, anyway, it's time to work on it. So, got the intake off of it. Need to suck the rest of the crap out of the top of these cylinders, just so we're in good shape there. I'm gonna pull what's left of this pan gasket, intake gasket out of here, and then we're gonna pour a little bit of oil right down on top of the cam and the lifters, and put a breaker bar on there and see if we can't get this thing to turn all the way over. I worked on that intake and all that stuff probably 3-4 weeks ago, and I filled the cylinders up with some oil, a Marble Mystery Oil, and PB Blaster, a little kerosene, everything else to try and loosen those things up, and I turned the engine back and forth about 3 or 4 degrees. It's free, it's not locked up or anything, but I mean the wiring of this thing is completely moused out and everything else. But we're gonna see if we can't get the intake cleaned out, get this thing to turn over and crank over with a new intake gasket. If we can do that, then we're gonna try and wire it up and see if we can't get this thing to fire up. So anyway, enjoy. Blew air down in all the cylinders and sucked out all the crap we could off the top of the valves. And then we pulled the bottom of the intake gasket out of there, and we can see what it looks like down in here. It's actually pretty damn clean. Yeah. There's some dirt and stuff fell down in there. We're going to shop vac all that stuff up out of there. And then we'll pour a little bit of oil just down on top of all these lifters, and right down across the top of the cam, and then we'll see if we can't get this thing to turn over by hand. What do you think, Matt? How's it look? You think this thing will fire up and run?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not, huh? That's your vote?
Absolutely not.
Alright guys, so got all the bolts out of the valve covers. I don't know what it's going to look like under these valve covers, but we'll see. We found that half of an intake gasket in the trunk, so I'm guessing that's why this was so clean, is because somebody's already been in here. Let's see what we get. I have not taken this off yet.
Are those rocker panels? Wait, rocker arms?
Yep. And there are some leaves in there, like a mouse is trying to live in there. We'll suck that out with the old shop vac. That really doesn't look too bad. Let's pull the other one. See what the other one looks like.
Could be better.
There's no holes in this one, so we know there aren't going to be any mice in there.
And
Not horrible. Alright guys, so we got a bunch of stuck valves. I got a couple of them freed up, but we got a couple like this one here that like to just stay stuck down. That wants some ice cream. He just gave me a thorough walkthrough of how internal combustion engine works. I'm pretty impressed with his knowledge. And then we're going to come back and work on this a little bit more. So I've decided that I am going to pull the heads off of this, and then I'm going to pull each valve out independently, and then I'm going to clean it up the best I can, and then I'll probably run a wire brush on the bottom side of the heads and inside the cylinders and see what we get, see if we can't get this thing looking a lot better and cleaned up pretty good. All right, we're back. So I had Matt come out here and help me. We pulled the heads off of this thing. And as you can see, there's some of the fluid that I put in there to try and loosen the pistons up a little bit, lubricate them up. Still sitting in there, kind of leaked down out of these, or ran down out of here as I cranked it over by hand, but there's, go over to this side for, look at all this sludge in here. Look at that. So if I would have pulled the heads off and I would have tried to get this thing running, all that would have been flopping around in that cylinder. It just depends on which valves were open when those mice were living in there. Well, that got out of control pretty quick. That's alright, I got big plans for this thing. I know you guys are really going to like it, so I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee, get working on these heads so I can get the next Buick video up for you. While I do my thing, have you seen my 62 Ford van? You should go check that out. I'll see you soon. Peace.